Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I am Nur Ain binti Zakaria and my group mate is Siti Nur Aminah binti Azizah and Ainu Marzia binti Norizal. We would like to present about the impact of perceived service quality and perceived safety and security influence the loyalty among ferry passengers at Langkawi.
Siti Nur Aminah binti Azizah, and I will explain about the background of the study. This is because the tourist experience and perception on the tourism product will always begin and end with transportation. Then, for the passenger ferry, also demand in terms on every aspect of ship design and operation, such as safety, good service quality, and customer satisfaction. So, passengers that have high degree of the service quality also have a high level of loyalty, which is important for the transportation. So, in the literature also indicates a close connection between the ridership and passenger loyalty, which related to the perceived service quality and safety. In our country also, the demand for the transportation were increasing because to satisfy the rapidly economy and also population. So we focus on the water transportation, which is ferry service in Langkawi Island, which is we want to study the passenger loyalty on perceived service quality and safety and security.
Okay, we move on to the next slide, which is problem statement. First, ferry service in Malaysia are considered to have a low level of safety, especially in terms of safety features, quality of service, and facilities, as stated by Abu Khalifah and Chandran in year 2020. For example, the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, which is MMEA. Most ferries workers in Malaysia never practice firefighting exercise. Besides, the lack of condition in quality ferry services such as cleanliness, ticket ferries problem and others, as stated by Cho in year 2016. In addition, the problem is poor quality services and safety issues are the main causes which is mostly utilized by low-income passengers, as stated by Lan et al. In year 2013. Then, the lack of study investigating about the tourist ferry services quality and safety on passengers' loyalty in developing country, which is stated by Van Leeuwen et al. In year 2018.
There are three objectives and research questions that relate for each other. So first, the objective 1, we will focus on how the process safety and security will impact the image and satisfaction for the ferry services. Next, we will focus on the process service quality that impact both image and satisfaction. And lastly, to determine how the image and satisfaction will impact the loyalty toward the ferry services.
Next part is about theoretical framework. Okay, we in this study have 5 variable, which is perceived safety and security, perceived service quality, satisfaction, image, and loyalty. Okay, these five variable being our research framework, which is adapted from Nguyen et al. In 2021.
Hypothesis. As you can see, there are 6 hypotheses in the slide, which is show the positive relationship between perceived service quality, perceived safety and security, the image, and the passenger satisfaction.
The significance of the study, it will focus on the practical and academical. For the practical, it will allow operator to understand better the passenger perceived safety and security. For example, they can try to re-strategize what are the things that they need to offer for the passenger in gaining their satisfaction and loyalty. And for the academic, they can be used as the reference for the future research, such as is because the study on the tourism safety and security is still lacking. So this will help them to enhance their works and literature.
Okay, next slide is about chapter 2, which is cover about literature review. For first variable is about perceived service quality. According to Sati et al. In 2021, service quality can be determined by comparing consumers' perception of the actual service. They receive the actual service and then they expect for the service, which is service quality. And then for the next variable is about perceived safety and security. According to Coppola and Silvestri in 2022, the concept of perceived safety and security is from various factors that include external environmental factor and then individual subject factor.
Continue with literature review, which is image, satisfaction, and loyalty.
Slide will cover about chapter 3 research methodology. Study setting for this research are located at Langkawi Island. And then for the research design we use firstly a quantitative research, second descriptive study, third cross-sectional, and then for the last type of respondent, tourists using ferry service.
We move on to the next slide, which is about the population and sampling. As you can see, the population of tourist arrival in Langkawi for the year 2020 is as stated on the slide. We use purposive sampling in sampling design, and the population individual, which is ferry passenger that have used the service for the past 2 years. For sampling, the minimum sample size should be 100, and usually simple regression need at least 15 sample, and generally 100 sample for most research situation as stated by Hare et al. In year 2018. As you can see, there are sample size from Tabanchi and Fidel, which is in year 2007. Hence, the sample size must be more than 100 respondents as following by Hare et al. In year 2018.
Explain for the instrument component for independent variable, which is process safety and security that will use Likert scale from 1 to 5, which represents strongly disagree to strongly agree. Next, we will also use independent variable, which is process service quality that adopts source from Cho et al. And use Likert scale from strongly dissatisfied to strongly satisfied.
Okay, continue for the previous slide. It's about the instrument component. Okay, this part is about dependent variable, which is satisfaction, image, and loyalty.
Next is data analysis. In data analysis, there are SPSS, frequency analysis, reliability test, and multiple regression.
This slide will be cover about the collection data, which is this research using primary data, and then the questionnaire by share Google Form link through social media such as Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram.
Next slide is pilot test. As you can see, there are table 3.5 that show about the cron-alpha, which is tell about the reliability test on pilot test.
I will explain the summary of the result in respondent profile. So first, we collect 215 respondents from the passenger that use ferry service in Langkawi. Okay, for the gender, female respondents are more dominant compared to male respondents. And for the age of the respondent, majority are between 18 to 25. Next, for the marital status, for respondents are majority from single with 82%. Then for the education, the majority of them is bachelor degree. And for the occupation is student mostly that take part in this survey. So for the purpose, majority respondent answer for the holiday, and they prefer to take ferry from Kuala Kedacheti. But show on the slide, the data show for the descriptive analysis of process safety and security for departure. So for the highest mean of this item question will be PSS D6, which is the presence of staff or police at the ferry service make the passenger feel safe. So for the mean of the question is 4.18 with standard deviation of 0.824.
Okay, next slide will cover about 4.4, which is descriptive analysis. Okay, table 4.11 is perceived safety and security on board. Okay, there has two highest item, which is the question about staff and police present on the ferry make respondent feel safe. Also, same mean with the item question about safety equipment is available on the ferry, which is the mean is 4.18. For the slide, which is 4.4 descriptive analysis. Table 4.12a is a perceived service quality on tangibility. Okay, for the highest item, which is the question about comfort of air conditioning, which is the mean is 3.99, and then for the lowest item question is about noise insulation in ferry, which is the mean is 3.72.
Next slide is descriptive analysis. In the table 4.13 show the perceived service quality convenient. The item frequency of ferry services shows the highest mean among others. Now, continue with descriptive analysis. Table 4.14 show the perceived service quality personnel. The item knowledge of employee show the highest mean among others. The next table is 4.15 show the perceived service quality reliability. The item steadiness of ferry driving shows the highest mean among others.
The descriptive analysis for the image show the highest mean of the question is IMA1, which is the Langkawi ferry system has a good image in the mind of the passenger ferry. This means the mean is 4.23 with a standard deviation of 0.707. The table shows the descriptive analysis for the satisfaction. So for the highest mean between the three items is S81 and S82 with the same mean at 4.22.
About the loyalty, okay, for this part, the highest item, which is question about respondent intend to travel by Langkawi ferry system more than often in the future, which is the mean 4.31.
Next slide is about regression analysis, which is the relationship between perceived safety and security, perceived service quality and image. So, I would like to explain about the multiple linear regression for hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2. The result shows that there are significant positive relationship between the independent variable, both safety and security, and dependent variable for loyalty. So, the hypothesis is supported. The result also show the R-square is 0.708 while F-change is 302.777.
Slide will cover about chapter 3 research methodology. Study setting for this research located at Langkawi Island. And then for the research design we use firstly a quantitative research, second descriptive study, third cross-sectional, and then for the last type of respondent, tourists using ferry service.
So the multiple linear regression analysis for the two hypotheses, which is for the hypothesis 5 and 6. Okay, for the hypothesis 5 is for the relationship between the image and loyalty. The results show the positively significant if we see from the beta that show the positive value, which is 0.911. So these hypotheses are support. The same goes as well in hypothesis C between the satisfaction and loyalty. The results show the positive value of beta, which is 0.305. And thus, for both hypotheses are accept. So, for the significant number, for both hypotheses were also below from 0.05. So, the R-square for both are 0.777. I will explain about the implication of the study. So, for the practical implication, the ferry operator can understand the behavior of the passenger, especially in become more competitive and efficient transport industry. Next, for the managerial implication, this will help to provide helpful information in improving the quality by understanding the level of the satisfaction of passenger. This also will lead to the enhancement of loyalty among passenger. Then, for the academic, this will help to fill the literature gap by highlighting the issues in the ferry. It will also help the future research in finding the information, as there are lacking of recent study in terms of tourism destination, especially for the public transport. And lastly, for the community implication, this will help them to know more about the safety knowledge, especially during emergency, so they feel more secure and safe when they're using the ferry service in Langkawi.
The amount of time available to collect the data required was extremely limited because of COVID-19 issue. So second is about lack of cooperation to collect the data from the respondent, and then it is very hard to log their participation using online survey. Recommendation for this study is use semi-structured study and comparing their response based on the respondent demographic, such as age, income, education, and so on. Okay, next is need more practice and firefighting drills based on the issue found from the study. For example, firefighting drills and so on.
In conclusion, it can be said that the result shows most of respondents are satisfied with the level of satisfaction in ferry services and the ferry image in terms of service quality and safety and security. Next, the result shows that satisfaction and image are positively impact the loyalty of passengers in ferry service. And it can be concluded that when the passenger is satisfied with the perceived service quality and safety and security, this will influence their loyalty to repeat using the ferry service for a future trip in Langkawi.